Now we want to get you a CBS News exclusive. New analysis shows a record number of detainees are giving up on their immigration cases and are voluntarily leaving the country. New data shows at least 28% of the people in detention with closed cases left voluntarily. That's higher than any year prior, according to court records. And that figure seems to be climbing. CBS News national reporter Kati Weis has been digging into this. She joins us now live from New Orleans. Kati, good morning. Based on what you've seen and what you're looking into, what might be sparking this spike in voluntary departures?
Well, good morning, Errol. Yes, from the immigrants that we've spoken to who have been in detention and some who have opted for this choice of voluntary departure, they tell me it's likely a factor of just how exhausting the process has become. They say that the conditions are terrible in some of these detention facilities, and it just becomes a point where women just want to have their freedom. Immigrants want to have their freedom. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago on this show, I introduced you to a woman named Vilma Palacios. She's a recent graduate of the LSU nursing school here just outside New Orleans, and she had a job lined up at a local hospital in an area where there is a nursing shortage here. She just wanted to get back to her community. She had never committed a crime and was brought here to the U.S. when she was only 6 years old from Honduras. Well, she was detained about a month after graduating nursing school, was kept in a detention center for about 6 months, and finally she said she felt she had no other choice but to just give up. Take a listen.
The whole process of being detained for so long, it's set up for every individual who is detained to get to the point where they're just emotionally drained and exhausted through it all of the way that we're being treated, to just say, okay, all I want is my freedom. That's all I want. It gets to a point that it's very sad and unfortunate that many people go through that. They're like, okay, I really don't, like, it doesn't matter where I'm being sent to. I just want my freedom back. I just want the life that I had, or create something for myself.
And that term voluntary is something that Vilma also takes issue with. She says even though she opted to be sent back to Honduras, she was still sent in a plane in shackles, both on her hands and feet. Errol?
So I remember when you first reported Vilma's story, Kati, really remarkable to hear her perspective and how she's emotionally drained. What are we hearing from migrants that have been like her and tried to navigate the legal process? Of course, migrants would be different than her scenario, but what have they told you?
Yes, well, we're hearing an overwhelming amount of stories about how terrible the conditions are in these facilities. Vilma also explained that the ability to get medical care in these facilities has become very difficult. We know that right now these detention facilities have some of the highest numbers of immigrants in these facilities than in many years past. And so because of the overwhelming populations inside these facilities, it's becoming very difficult for immigrants to be able to get the kind of care and access to resources that they may need, access to things like the legal libraries, things of that nature, to be able to work on their cases. Now, it's important to note that a DHS spokesperson did tell us that Vilma was here illegally. She admitted to that, and that she was open to this voluntary departure. Errol?
All right, Kati Weis with some eye-opening reporting there from New Orleans. Kati, thank you.